An exciting new study shows that you can burn fat while putting on muscle if you hit 2.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Now, before you get out your calculator, I'll just tell you right now, that's gonna be over 100 grams of protein. So today I'm gonna show you how I hit over 100 grams of protein every day without even trying that hard on a vegan diet and without using any protein powder. We're gonna make 3 recipes. We're gonna do a latte, a Thai style curry, and a peanut noodle dish. And I'm so excited to eat these, so let's get into it. Okay, the first thing we're gonna do is make our latte because I'm gonna need some caffeine. I've literally, when I tell you, when I woke up today, I was like, it's gonna be a 2 coffee day because I'm gonna make one in the episode. I'm gonna find an excuse to make coffee in every fucking episode just so I can have my second cup. So I just made my espresso. I have a bit of leftover milk from this morning, but I'm gonna fill this guy up. We're gonna get our milk frothing. Uh-oh, I need to get more milk. Okay, hang tight. Okay, here we go, more milk. I can't remember what I was saying before, but this is I call it a Milky Way latte. I call it that because, oh God, I feel like we're gonna have a disaster on our hands. I feel like the milk's gonna overflow. Anyway, I call it Milky Way latte because the date caramel that I made for it is like cacao caramel. So you got it, Milky Way, you got it. You know what's funny? When I was growing up in Germany, Milky Way did not have caramel. Milky Way was just nougat and chocolate. Mars had nougat, caramel, and chocolate. Twix was the same, Kit Kat was the same. I mean, everything tasted better, but that was like a big difference. And we don't really fuck with Mars much here, do we? And then I guess, what is it? We have something that's just nougat and chocolate, but I feel like it's really not good. Okay, I'm gonna froth the milk. It can be loud, so maybe I'll stop talking during this portion. All right, let's see if it fucking explodes. So far, so good. Okay, she made some highly unpleasant sounds, but we did not have a explosion situation. So yay. Okay, I'm gonna tell you about my date caramel now. So it's just a play on the same date caramel that we keep doing over and over and over again. So the base is always 1 cup of the unsweetened Eden Foods soy milk and 1 cup of pitted medjool dates. So I've made it a few different times now. I usually do 3 tablespoons of cacao powder. You can make it 2. Sometimes that's a little bit sweeter and less of, the cacao bitters in it. Doesn't really matter. I mean, I would start with 2 tablespoons of the cacao powder and then see if you want to add your 3rd, is what I meant to say by it doesn't really matter. It does matter. I did 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla powder, and 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. So I'm gonna use a frother when I combine the milk in here because I'm using this soy milk. It's soy milk, which curdles easily because it's so high in protein, but it also has no stabilizers in it. So that also makes it curdle more. So that's why I do the frother with this. Okay, let's have our coffee. You know that milk frother, I just want to say one thing about it. So it had 1 negative review when I was about to buy it. So good. Tastes just like a Milky Way. I'm just kidding, it doesn't. But I mean, it tastes like chocolate and caramel. And coffee, obviously. Also, this drink, using about a tablespoon of this gets you 7 grams of protein. So that's pretty good. And while we're on it, I do want to say the recipes I'm making today will get you over 100 grams of protein. I think it's like between 104 to 110, depending on just like little serving things. but it's not a full day's worth of food. In fact, it's only just over 1,000 calories, so which is like quite protein dense. But the magic of it is, if let's say you were to make all these 3 recipes and eat the specific serving size that I tell you, you would hit your 100 grams of protein, but still be able to eat like quite a bit more throughout the day. I mean, there's no one who should be eating just over 1,000 calories. I'm 5'0", and my maintenance calories are far above that. So if that's the case for me, I can guarantee you should not be eating that few calories. I also do want to talk a bit more about this study because there are some notes I want to add, but first I would just drink a bit more of this. So that milk frother, someone said it has 3 settings, and they said it was annoying that it had 3 settings because if you're using setting 1, you have to go through 2 and 3 to be able to turn it off. And then sometimes like things just get splashy, yada, yada, yada. And I want to say to that person, they don't know a feature on that milk frother where if you long hold it, it just turns off. So you don't have to cycle through. So I fucking love that milk frother. Easily one of the hardest working appliances in our home. This is so good. So here's what we're gonna do. We've made our latte, that's done, that's over. I'm gonna put a pot of water on. We're gonna steam some veggies. That's gonna be for our curry dish. And then we're gonna saute some stuff also for our curry dish and for the noodles. And then we'll combine things. I'll talk you through what's for what when we get there. So let's get into it, yeah? I will still tell you about the study, by the way, just while we do other things, you know. Okay, we have our water boiling, so we're gonna get things together for steaming. So we're gonna steam the broccoli. Not sure if you can hear all the traffic out there, but people are losing their minds apparently. So we're gonna steam all this broccoli. We're gonna steam all this bok choy and some other stuff that I'll tell you about in a second. We're not gonna steam the spinach and the bean sprouts, but these are for the curry. All of these are for the curry. Honestly, the noodles, we're just gonna add some scallions and some other stuff, but we're not gonna go veggie heavy with the noodles. So all of the veggies really are for the curry. The other thing that's going in the curry is this. So this is seitan. I buy this from the Asian grocer. Got a nice good look at it. I would take a bullet for this. If a genie came down and said, you have to choose between 99% of people that you know and this, I would choose this. I don't want to be dramatic, but like, I would consider giving up an arm for this. I'm obsessed with this. Like, I really cannot put into words how much I fuck with this shit. It is so fucking good. Now you can buy seitan at a regular store. I've bought it before. I like this better. It's completely unflavored. You add nothing to it. Seitan, by the way, is basically gluten protein. It's crazy because the protein density is pretty much unheard of in that it has a 20% protein to calorie ratio. So 100 grams of seitan gives you 20 grams of protein. That's pretty much as protein dense as things can get. Like, we're talking right up there with the leanest of animal proteins. There are many animal proteins that are not nearly as lean. Now, I have never steamed seitan before, but we're gonna try it. I'll let you know how it goes. I do really like it heated up. Like, the texture is, I don't know how to describe it. I would say it's almost like a cross between chicken thighs, not chicken breasts, like really like the juicier parts of the thighs, and like a scallop maybe. Like, it's just like, it's like a chewy but tender kind of texture. Okay, my water is really boiling. I'm gonna open this, we're gonna dump it in. I also wanna add a red bell pepper to what we're steaming. We're also gonna use that in the curry. And you know what? I'll just steam this whole package. Why not? Or should I risk it? Now, usually I eat half of this package in one meal, which is 50 grams of protein. That's nuts. All right, let me put this shit on and then I'll come back and then we're gonna saute these veggies and then we're gonna saute something for our noodles and then we'll assemble everything and eat. Okay, let's turn this guy on. I'm gonna saute the bean sprouts first and then the spinach. Okay, while this heats up, I'm gonna have a bit more of my latte. By the way, here I have both mung bean sprouts and soybean sprouts. Mung bean sprouts are a bit lighter in protein. Soybean sprouts are a bit denser and denser in protein. I just thought the combo would be nice because we'll hit a bunch of nutrients. That is so good. Honestly, I should have grabbed a bigger frying pan, but whatever. Doesn't really matter. I'm not too stressed about it. Now, both of these veggies are incredibly protein-dense veggies, but they also come with so many minerals and other nutrients because it's not all about protein. And honestly, anytime we do increase our protein, I think it's so important to also increase our hydration and our fiber so that things keep moving. Also, I have an ant infestation in my apartment right now, so that's lovely. I went out of town for just a few days and come back to a bunch of fucking ants, so that's what's going on in my life, if you're wondering. Anyway, I want to tell you about this study. We're not going to saute this too much. I just want it to be a little bit cooked, a little bit wilted. You can add tamari in here with the bean sprouts. I think a little tamari and a little toasted sesame oil makes bean sprouts so yummy. I used to fucking hate bean sprouts. Like, I thought they were the grossest thing ever. But then doing that actually made me like them. I just turned the steamed veggies off because everything's pretty bright and green. We don't need it to, like, it'll keep steaming a little bit even though it's off now. I just don't want to overcook things, so I thought that was the right amount. And these are wilting quite nicely. Okay, so let me tell you a bit more about this study. So it's a really recent study, and I do think it's really important to note that it's a study of 30 participants, which is a pretty low sample size. So I don't think that, you know, take the findings with a bit of a grain of salt. But basically they split people into 3 groups. And these were all people who were regular trainers and they continued training. So these were not people who were just starting to work out for the first time. But that does make the findings more important because when you're a beginner to training, you can make more rapid progress than someone who's actually been training for a while. So I do think that that's actually a really nice check in the box of the study. And the training was pretty controlled. I think they were training 4 days a week. Now, what was different in these groups was the control group had no dietary changes. Then there were 2 test groups. One of the test groups ate at maintenance calories and ate 2.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. And the other group ate at a very modest calorie deficit, so 250 calories below maintenance, which is a very modest calorie deficit, and ate the same protein target. And what they found was that both high protein groups, both the group that was in a calorie deficit and the group that wasn't in a calorie deficit, lost fat while putting on muscle. And this is pretty revolutionary because up until this study, I believe the mindset, the view was that you either put on muscle or you lose fat, but that you can't do the 2 simultaneously. That's why bodybuilders and like really intense trainers go through a bulk phase and a cut phase. So in a bulk phase, they're training really hard and eating above maintenance to put on muscle, and then they go through and do a cut to lose some of the fat and get more of the muscle definition. That's how, you know, like trainers, like serious trainers do it. But this study seems to indicate that you can do both at the same time, which is pretty fucking cool. And it does seem like hitting this quite high protein target is the way to do it. Now, do you have to eat that much protein? I mean, it like really depends on my mom actually asked me when I was in DC, by the way, how far have we come with protein? There was a time where I was getting like 10 grams of protein in a day. Like truly, I was probably getting 30 grams max in a day with all my meals combined. That's pretty fucking wild. Okay, I'm gonna dump this back in its bowl. It's cooked like the amount that I need it to. And by back in its bowl, I apparently mean I'm just gonna have it flying all over the room. Let's dump the spinach in here. Let's get the spinach nice and wilted. Isn't it wild that all of this spinach is gonna end up being like a tablespoon of spinach once it's all cooked? Love that about spinach. And by love, I mean I fucking hate that about spinach. Anyway, where was I going with this? Yeah, my mom asked me how much protein one needs, and I was like, it honestly really depends on your goals. But the truth is that most people could stand to eat more protein than they're eating. And when I came across this study, it was actually on this girl's TikTok, and there were so many people in the comments being like, wait, I can barely get like 50 grams, 70 grams, 80 grams of protein. And I was like, that's crazy, because I feel like I'm effortlessly hitting 120 grams of protein. And a lot of it honestly is that seitan that I use. Is this even on anymore? No, it's not. Okay. Yeah, we'll just get the spinach to cook down a little bit, and then we'll move on to do our tempeh, which is for the noodle dish. Everything else we've been doing thus far is for our curry. I made the sauces yesterday. I'll talk you through them. They're both actually kind of Thai inspired, and they're both also really high in protein, which is a really important part of how we're hitting our protein targets. So we're doing protein-rich veggies, which are things like broccoli, spinach, bean sprouts, bok choy are all quite high in protein. And then sorry, this guy just started being mouthy. Like, am I not dealing with enough over here? We're doing more like traditional vegan protein sources like seitan. We're gonna do tempeh, and we're gonna do some beans that's gonna go in our curry. And then our sauces are really high in protein. So yeah, we're doing like very diverse protein, and we're hitting so much fiber also. Also, if you enjoy this, would you want a similar episode but with fiber, showing you how I get the amount of fiber that I do in a day and like different fiber sources and stuff? Let me know in the comments if you do, and we can totally make that happen, like no stress at all. Oh, but yeah, so when I saw this on TikTok, I was shocked, like looking at the comments, seeing how much people struggle. And I was like, cool, like I'm doing this so effortlessly. Why don't I make this episode? Plus, like summer's around the corner. We all want to feel better in our bodies. And like the best way to feel better in your body is body recomp, you know? It's not just like getting skinny. It's honestly putting on muscle while losing a bit of fat and water weight. Okay, this is enough. I don't need it to wilt anymore. I'm gonna take this off, go grab the tempeh, and we'll do all that. Okay, we're gonna shift gears now to do the tempeh for the noodle dish. So I wanted to use this. It's a gochugaru chili oil by the Algae Cooking Club. It has a high smoke point, so you can use it. I haven't used it before. I guess it has a little thingo. Ugh, okay, I'm just gonna do that. I'm also gonna add some tamari or a soy sauce, whatever I have. This is the Whole Foods tempeh. If you have access to it, listen, like I know they're evil. I'm telling you, their tempeh is so good. Like it's never bitter. It's so crazy to me. You know how tempeh can have a bit of like a bitter kind of, I don't even want to say aftertaste. I feel like it's almost like a before taste, like you taste it right away. Yeah, the Whole Foods one is perfect all the time. I'm just gonna crumble this up. It's gonna go on top of our noodles, our peanut noodles. Oh, I'm so excited for this. And what I like about this is when you crumb it up, I actually think it kind of looks a bit like peanuts, which would be a very appropriate garnish for the noodle dish. But the magic of using this is that you hit so much more protein. Did I mention I've never done this? I feel like it needs to be said. I've never done this, yay. I've also never used that oil. I actually really tend to just eat my tofu and tempeh and stuff like that, just whole and plain. Oh, this oil smells so good, and I think that this is a great opportunity for me to try to get this thingy out of it. I'm gonna grab tweezers. Yes. Okay, this oil smells so fucking good. That's insane. Let's do a bit of tamari. I'm so pleased with how this looks. I want to taste a bit. I'm gonna add a bit more tamari. Okay, she's beauty, she's grace, she's gonna move back there. We're gonna do our noodles first and then do the curry and then eat, 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 eat. Okay, for our noodles, you can use any noodles that you want. I'm using these shirataki noodles. The reason I'm using these is because they're made of konjac. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Konjac, I don't know, which has a type of fiber. It starts with a G. It's like glucoman or something. I actually really don't know what it's called. I'll look it up. Maybe we can put it in text over the screen or something. But it's a really good source of prebiotic fiber. It is one of the best things to help me poo, but it's also really good for like your metabolic health and things like that. So that's why I'm using these. But these really have like no protein. I mean, they have 1 gram of protein in the whole package, but that's really not a meaningful amount. But what I want to highlight is if you're using like udon noodles or buckwheat noodles or any type of like wheat-based noodle, you're gonna get way more protein from that alone. So that's in addition to the 100 grams, like over 100 grams of protein that I've already calculated for you. So that's pretty fucking cool. So I'm gonna go rinse these and then we'll meet here and we'll talk about our peanut sauce, yeah? Okay, so I'm just gonna mix the noodles with the peanut sauce. And then later we will plate it, add our tempeh on top and, you know, do the whole design. But I'm gonna tell you about this peanut sauce. So it is 1 cup of the unsweetened Eden Foods soy milk that I'm obsessed with and won't shut up about. 1/2 cup of tamari. You can use soy sauce if you want. 2 cloves of garlic. 3/4 cup of pitted medjool dates. You know the drill. You want to really, really pack them in. 1/2 cup of peanut butter. 1 bird's eye chili, like the little Thai chili peppers. I think you could substitute something else, but I just kept it that because I wanted kind of a Thai theme in this. 1 tablespoon of dulse flakes. And 1 fresh kaffir lime leaf. Just blend those together until they're super, super smooth. I'm gonna add a bit more of the peanut sauce to these noodles because I want to, therefore I'm going to. Okay, that's pretty peanutty, pretty well combined. I'm gonna set this aside for now and then let's work on our curry and then we'll plate everything and then we'll eat. I'm so excited. I love like Thai kind of flavors so much. This is truly a meal of my dreams. Also, real quick before we go, I know I've been talking about body recomp a lot, but that's not the only reason that protein's important. And you know that, like obviously protein's having a moment, like you know that it's important, but I do want to highlight that it is actually the most important thing for hair, skin, nails, and mood. Mood is the biggest one. Like it affects your mood so much. So if you don't give a shit about your body, by all means don't, but you should care about your mood. And the flip side is, I always say this, like, what's the point of being hot if we're not gonna be happy, you know? Anyway, okay. I'm so fucking excited for this curry. So I've always wanted to do a Thai style curry, but Thai curry is so high in saturated fat, which is really awful for your heart health, among other things. So I wanted to try to find a way to make a Thai style curry that's lighter and just like, you know, optimized to help us feel happy and healthy. Yay, yay, yay. Hot, happy, and healthy, I should say. So here's what I did. I honestly think it tastes a lot like a Thai style curry, but it's just lighter and higher in protein and all the good things. So I started with 2 cups of the unsweetened Eden Foods soy milk. I added 1 tablespoon of Thai curry paste. I'll link the one that I use. I did 6 big, juicy, pitted medjool dates, a 1/4 cup of tamari, 1 kaffir lime leaf, 1 bird's eye chili, 1 tablespoon of dulse, 4 cloves of garlic, 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, and 1 tablespoon of coconut butter. Now, just a reminder, coconut butter is not the same thing as coconut oil. They are different. One would not be a good substitute for the other. Coconut butter is more analogous to like peanut butter. It's dried coconut that's processed until you get more of a paste. It has a very rich coconutty flavor to it. So that's what I do to replicate the fact that Thai curry is really coconut milk based, you know? So I just put our bean sprouts and spinach into a bowl. I'm gonna add our curry base. And then I'm gonna take our steamed veggies and seitan, and we're gonna add those to the mix. By the way, that whole bat, like the 100 grams of protein that I calculated, wait, I have to tell a story. So I saw this girl on TikTok, and she said that this girl had posted a cookie recipe, and she's like, it has like 5 grams or 10 grams or something grams of protein. So the girl like does the whole like many chat, like comment recipe, gets the recipe, like I roll, whatever. And then she looks at it, and the grams of protein that the girl said the cookies have wasn't per cookie. It was for the whole batch of cookies, which like no one's gonna, I mean, I could eat a whole batch of cookies, no problem, but like that's not an effective way to get protein. So I do wanna say the protein calculation that I made isn't like you wouldn't have to eat this entire thing of curry to be able to get that protein amount. In fact, I calculated using way less of this. I calculated using only 1/5 of this, but it's the seitan and all the other things that's like really getting the protein up, whatever. I like forget how I was trying to word this. Let me grab some of our steamed veg. By the way, Ozzy and I joke that these seitan rolls look like what I would imagine fish willies look like. Like there's just something about them. Like, I feel like this is what a dolphin's penis looks like. Like, am I alone in this? I don't know. I've never seen one, but I feel like it would, you know? Okay, these don't need cutting. By the way, they were such a vibrant, beautiful green color when I took them off, or when I turned the heat off, but they continued steaming as I said they would. And now they're less bright, but it is what it is. Such is life, you know? Can't control everything. I should have put this lower because that's not aesthetic, but like I said, such is life. It is what it is. Now, my protein calculation did include having half of that package of seitan, which again is how much I tend to eat in a meal of that seitan, but my bowl isn't gonna fit it, so just pretend there's more there. I'm adding lupini beans, which is, I mean, like beans in general are so good for you, but lupini beans might win the Bean Olympics just in terms of the amount of fiber and protein that they have is uncharted. Like it's so intense. And then we're gonna add some of this steamed. I've actually never steamed bell pepper before, I don't think. No, that's a lie, I have. I don't know why I said that. That's just like untrue. Not me, just making shit up over here. But I feel like we need a pop of red, you know? Okay, this kind of looks like shit. But you know what? Let's style and design it a little bit, yeah? I feel like we can get this better looking. Okay, I have to say, as healthy as lupini beans are, I am not liking the aesthetic, so I'm gonna push them below the curry line. That's much better. Maybe a little swirl of our oil. Yeah. Oh, that looks pretty. For sure, some cilantro. I have some bird's eye chili, so I was thinking maybe just slicing one for garnish on top. Okay, this is looking cutie now. Bit of crystallized shoyu, why not? And then I do have some edible flowers. So we'll just sprinkle some of these petals on top. Okay, I'm actually loving this. Okay, that looks adorable. Great. Let's move on to our noodles, yeah? For the noodles, I'm just gonna get this in the bowl. Add some of our tempeh. I wanna add some scallion on top and some chili crisp. Yum, yum. These scallions are so good. My parents got them for me from the Asian grocer. You just tell they're really fresh and good. Let's add some of this. And then let's add our chili crisp. I'm using the Fly by Jing brand chili crisp. I like this, I like Momofuku. They have a new, the Flying by Jin has this new extra garlic, milder chili crisp, which I like. I like them all, honestly. And I'm just gonna, yeah. I don't know, should I add some edible flowers? Do we like this or did it kind of ruin the vibe? I can't tell. Whatever, we'll roll with it. This smells insane. Insane, I tell you. All right, it's time to fucking eat. I love how every week I just insist on making the biggest fucking mess humanly imaginable, but here we are. Can't wait to clean. No, but what I really can't wait is to eat. This looks so good. I just want to get a bite with everything in. Which is kind of hard to do with chopsticks, but we're gonna try. That is so good. I want to try the thingo, the seitan, not seitan, the tempeh. That's really good. This oil is really good. I'll link it. Yeah, I love it. One more bite, and then I want to try curry. Okay. I'm so fucking excited for this. This is the seitan. Yeah, that's delicious. This curry thing is so good. Ooh, I'm gonna get some bean sprouts. Yum. I honestly kind of forgot I was filming. I thought I was just like at a 5-star, like a 2-star Thai Michelin restaurant. I love how in my own fantasy, I don't even get the 3rd star. No, that's great. I love that for me. It's so good. I'm gonna eat this. And then I guess I'll go clean. This truly is like the meal of my dreams. Can't say enough good things about it. Again, it's not a full day of eating. Like I don't just have a latte for breakfast, yada, yada, yada. But it is a really easy way to get in a lot of protein. Okay. I'm not even paying attention to you anymore. I'm like so engrossed in my food. So I guess I'll go do that. And then I'll see you next week. We have another great episode planned. I'm so excited. Like they're all bangers. You're gonna love these episodes. There's so much good stuff coming up. Thank you so much for being here. Rate, review, subscribe. You know the drill. It really fucking helps. It's really hard out here. Please help. I love you so much. Let me know if you want me to do like a fiber maxing episode. I can totally do that. And we'll chat next week. Oh, this is so fucking good. I'm not even gonna stop the camera.